this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And welcome back to my channel. In today's Pick a Card reading, we're going to be talking all about this new moon in Scorpio that is upon us right now. First, before we get into the Pick a Card reading, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a talk on the astrology updates that you guys can expect and all of these energy shifts that are going on. I'm even going to talk a little bit about some of the upcoming eclipses that we have. So I suggest that you stick around, but if you want to fast forward to your reading, the timestamps are below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell. That really helps me out. And share this reading with any of your friends who you think would need it. So let's get into it, you guys. But I'm sure some of you guys can realize, first of all, that I'm not in the jungle anymore. I am now in a hotel getting ready to travel to my next location. I'm so ready to give you guys an update, so stay tuned on the channel. I'm going to have more vlogs coming up and probably some type of life update video because it's been a whole thing, you guys. I cannot believe it, but I made it through the jungle. I survived 6 months there and I feel like a brand new woman now. So you guys are going to get so much more content over the next couple of weeks because I feel like I have just so much to say and so much to give, and I'm just so ready. So make sure that you guys are following for that and that you keep updated. So this new moon in Scorpio, have you guys felt the energy shift? I bet so many of you guys are already wondering like what is going on, and I'm here to break it down for you guys because I did a little bit of research. I got my notes, okay? So new moon in Scorpio. Scorpio in the zodiac or in astrology does symbolize transformation, rebirth, and changes. It's funny because when I was in the jungle, I kept seeing these bats everywhere. They like to land on my house. I had to like chase them away sometimes, but I was always looking up the message of the bat, and it reminds me of this time we're going through so much. It's a time of shedding, it's a time of transformation, it's a time of rebirth. Now, I know that we're always talking about changing and growing and evolving and transformation here on this channel. But if there was ever a time to shed your skin like the snake and be born anew, it would be now. So we have these eclipses coming up as well. I want you guys to be prepared for. November 18th and 19th, we have a partial lunar eclipse. And lunar eclipses are usually a time of culmination or things coming to a head. The lunar eclipses will also open up your emotions, so you'll really understand your true feelings about certain things. So we've got that coming in just a couple weeks. And then on December 3rd and 4th, we have solar eclipses, and those are times of new beginnings. And as you guys know, I've been talking a lot lately on the channel about how we recently had Mercury, Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn all go direct. And so we've got this really strong energy that's charging us forward into these eclipses. The next couple of weeks is a really, really great time to do some soul searching and some inner work and some retreat. This could be triggering for some of you guys because of what happened in the world, like the world events over the last couple of years. Many of us were literally forced inside. We had to retreat. We had to hermit. We had to go inside. And there was a lot of growth that happened as a result of that. So now during Scorpio season and this time of transformation and with all these eclipses, it might feel almost triggering or traumatizing, like, oh my God, it's happening again. Don't worry, this is just part of the regularly scheduled cycles and seasons and change that we go through every year. And this, you can make it a good time if you really want to. You can make this so great for yourself. You can alchemize this whole situation, and I'm going to teach you guys how. So here are some themes for this new moon in Scorpio, and then we'll go over the do's and the don'ts for this period of time. So this new moon in Scorpio is really going to help you overcome self-imposed limitations, meaning that So many of us put limitations on ourselves as we go through life. We have these stories that we tell ourselves in our head that are like, I can't do this because of this, or I could never do that because of this thing that happened, or because I'm like this, I could never do this. I mean, I catch myself doing this all the time because you guys know I've talked a lot on the channel about how I've gone through depression and anxiety. I have ADHD. I have so many reasons to look at my dreams, my desires, and my goals and my path ahead and to tell myself I can't do it. You know, you probably have your own little mix of stuff going on, stuff that's happened to you. Some of you guys have got disabilities, injuries, stuff like that, and it can make our lives difficult. Like, no one said this life was going to be easy, but if we're not careful, all of these things that have happened or these labels and things that we take on can keep us from actually moving forward and from actually committing to our goals and having the life we want to have, you know? So I understand some of you guys are going through some real tough stuff right now. I feel you guys. It's kind of that season, you know, but this is time for you to overcome the self-imposed limitations, to pick yourself back up and say, you know what? I'm not going to let that define me. I'm not going to let that be the reason for why I'm not going to make it, or I'm not going to have the things I want in life, or I'm not going to love myself, you know? So it's about overcoming self-limitations. Next, this is going to be a huge time of shift and awakening. So you are going to have light bulb moments. You're going to probably want to be doing a lot of journaling through this time. You're going to have a lot of aha moments. Some things are just going to make sense. It could be stuff about like your patterns or your habits in relationships. Recently, I actually figured out like a health tip for myself that has really changed the game. Like it's a new food that I can eat, like a new way to balance my intestines and my gut health. And it's like changed everything for me. And so you might find yourself coming across stuff like that where you're like, oh my gosh, like turns out that this is the perfect type of exercise for my body and I'm loving it and I'm seeing results. Or wow, like I had no idea that in a relationship that I was constantly showing up like that. That makes sense why, you know, I've been stuck in these patterns. Like these are just some random examples, but you could be having aha moments about changes that need to happen or why something keeps happening in your life, like what you need to do differently or a new change in perception. I usually see a shift as like a shift in perception, because when you see yourself differently, the way that the world reacts to you changes. So this all goes together, letting go of self-imposed limitations, and then there's a lot of shifts and like awakenings happening. Some of you guys could be going through spiritual awakening right now. Maybe that's how you found your way to my channel. Welcome to the club. It's not an easy path, but it's full of rewards and magic and bliss. And so welcome to the journey. It's personal for everybody. But yeah, if you feel like you're going through an awakening, welcome to the club. The next theme for this time with the new moon in Scorpio is building in silence. This means maybe you have a really cool idea or like you know a direction you want to take your life in, but you might not be shouting it from the rooftops. You might be kind of like secretly building your empire right now. Like a lot of you guys are in the beginning stages of this, but just trust yourself because I think your ideas are bright. I can just tell. And yeah, it's like a building in silence kind of time. Let's get into the do's and don'ts for this new moon in Scorpio. So based off this energy, here are some things I recommend you do, and then we're going to get into things I seriously suggest that you don't do. So first of all, do's for this new moon in Scorpio. Get comfortable with your shadow and understand its role in your life. So the shadow energy is, maybe some people would consider it to be the ego, but it is kind of the darker side of our life, who we are, and the darker side of our human nature. So once again, this is very personal to everyone, but you might just be finding yourself getting more acquainted with your shadow, understand it a little bit more. It's best to be able to observe that side of yourself and to not judge it. Seek to understand it. You almost want to stalk that side of yourself, if that makes sense. To be able to watch it, to be able to observe it. This is a really great time to like understand that side of yourself, connect with it, embrace it in a certain way, but obviously to balance that out and not let it overcome you. The next thing that I suggest that you do during this time is to connect with your most intimate dreams and desires. We talk a lot on this channel about manifesting. You guys know I'm all about that. And this is actually a really great season for envisioning and coming up with clarity. I mean, I wouldn't really suggest to set intentions right now that are over your hugest dreams and goals. Maybe save that more towards the new year or after the eclipse season or even into the spring. But if you want to have a whack at it, go ahead. This might just be a great time to start getting your vision board together and to also just start understanding what it is that you want. And sometimes the way that we understand what we want is by experiencing what we don't want. So pay attention. If there's things you don't want or you're sick of or you're tired of in your life, then it's great. You have an opportunity now to realize, I don't want that. Now I can make some changes and set some new intentions. So yeah, connect with your most intimate desires. Next, during Scorpio season, this is a wonderful time to release anything in your life that is toxic. So toxic relationships, toxic habits. If you're eating a lot of toxic food, you might find your stomach and your body and your energy system really wanting healthier food and more sustenance and more nourishment and more soul food. And so there's definitely this message with this time. Obviously indulge. I mean, this time of year we have so much wonderful food that's seasonal or traditional at this time, but it's also reminding you to balance your body, take very good care of it, release what is toxic. This could also be, are you listening and tuning in to anything that's toxic? It happened to myself recently. All of a sudden I got sucked into watching the news again, and it wasn't like just watching the news for hours and hours, but I was starting to click on things just because I wanted to keep up. And before I knew it, I got sucked into all the drama and it just took me down this rabbit hole. And it's like, I know for myself, I got to really watch what I'm tuning into on a daily basis. Stay informed, but don't go down that rabbit hole. So, what is it that you are finding yourself engaging in that's become toxic? Release that. So I've got a couple more do's for you guys for this new moon in Scorpio, and the next one is heal your anxiety. So this is a time of year that anxieties can start to come up or maybe even worsen. I've definitely experienced it myself. So this is a really great time to research and practice and focus for you on what helps you with your anxiety, and also to be aware of when these anxieties are coming up. I personally define anxiety as a fear of the past or fear of the future. Oftentimes, like, our anxieties and our nervousness and our issues aren't always like about the present moment, because when you ground yourself in the present moment, that's where you find peace. So a tool I've used to help myself with anxiety, because I deal with CPTSD, and so your senses, engaging your senses, like your sense of touch or your sense of smell, or even just looking and bringing in colors around you, can help you to be calm and to be able to breathe again and be here and realizing, no, your worst fear isn't happening. Everything is okay. You're taken care of. You have everything you need in this present moment, and you can make choices to help yourself release anxieties or do what feels right for you. Sometimes we get anxiety when we feel like we're voiceless and we can't speak up for what we want. So don't be afraid to draw boundaries. Sometimes I find the worst anxieties I get are because I'm like afraid to set a boundary, or I know I need to set a boundary. So get more comfortable with that, especially with the energy also helping us to release things that are toxic. We might have anxieties just because we're going through so many changes and so much shedding. We're like the snake that's shedding its skin right now. It feels a little bit uncomfortable. So it's okay if this is what you're experiencing. This is a great time to lean into that and learn how to work with it. Next, this is a wonderful time during this new moon in Scorpio to bring and usher in a new era into your life. So if you're ready to just kind of wipe the slate clean, leave the past behind, and have a big glow up and be the new you and have this amazing period of change, there would never be a better time. Like literally there are parts of ourselves that are dying right now, and there are parts of ourselves that are being born. So many of us are also getting back to like the essence of who we are, getting back to the essence of our roots. So it's a really, really wonderful time to usher in a new era. So if you're ready for your new era, all you have to do is just declare it. That could be something really great to send intentions around. So next, this is a wonderful time for you to break the chains. So if there's anything in your life that's making you feel chained or restricted or stuck, that will come up at this time. And this is a wonderful time for you in your own way, because we're all on our own personal journey, but in your way to break the chains and to say, no more, I don't accept this. This stops with me. You know, it's a wonderful time to break the chains. I'm feeling that energy for sure. This is also a wonderful time for magic. So doing magic or doing spells, I wouldn't say it's the best time for manifestations. Like I said, it's going to help you get really clear on what it is that you do want. It's going to help you get very clear on what it is that you don't want. But there are certain spells you can do at this time. I would definitely suggest spells for protection or spells that will help you with your self-care or with your glow up right now. Wonderful spells for that. Maybe spells for abundance, that can help as well. And the next thing I'm going to say for you is to confront your fears. So this is a wonderful time to confront your fears, to walk in that direction, to welcome the fears, to understand them. I think this goes along a little bit with what I was saying about embracing the shadow. The fear energy is kind of part of the shadow too, but your fear wants to teach you something. That is 100% what I learned in the jungle here in Costa Rica for 6 months. I was confronted with a lot of fears, and your fear wants to teach you. It can be a guide, a teacher. So be open to that. Now, here are some things you really, really want to avoid at this time, okay? So here are some don'ts for this new moon in Scorpio. Don't stay in your comfort zone. If you try to stay in your bubble and you try to stay in your comfort zone and you try to just keep to yourself and keep your head down, this energy is going to come for you and it's going to snatch you. That's why you need to be perceptive, and you need to face your fears and open up to the shadow and be willing to do the work, be willing to shed the old skin. And I'm going to say another thing that you should avoid during this time is don't avoid death or endings. There are inevitably some things in your life that want to die, that want to decay, that want to be released, that want to end, cycles that want to be broken. So don't resist against that. It's kind of a Mercury retrograde type energy. We talk a lot when we go through Mercury retrograde transits on the channel about how it's important not to resist. Now we're flirting here with these eclipses and this Scorpio energy. It does have a bit of a trickster kind of energy to it. And if you resist too much, you're going to find yourself caught in lots of traps and conundrums. So be perceptive. I'm not saying the universe is going to try to smite you right now or anything. I think if you just do your best, you're going to be okay. But pay attention and just release what needs to be released. We're all being called to release some stuff right now. Another thing you want to avoid, just don't do, is don't get jealous. You might find yourself getting a little bit more jealous. I think this is the Scorpio energy. Even if you're someone who doesn't usually get jealous, you might just see something that you wish you had, or you might see somebody's life and I wish I could have that. But you never know what people's true lives are really like. And also, I always say, instead of getting jealous, just get inspired. The jealousy, that kind of energy, and feeling like it's not fair, why does this always happen to me? Like that type of energy, it's kind of an entitlement. I think we all go through it sometimes, because sometimes when life wants us to learn a lesson, it can be very humbling. So during this time, just allow the lessons. And also, if you're feeling jealous or you're feeling like that's not fair, it's so easy for them, it's not easy for me. Like when you find yourself doing those comparisons, just remind yourself, you know what, that person is proof that I can have the things I want in my life and I can walk a beautiful life too. Don't go looking for reasons why they had an advantage over you, or, oh, they're privileged, or, oh, it's because of this or that. Start telling yourself, I have the love and the support of the universe as well. And like, I'm going to create something beautiful. And that person really inspires me. And yeah, I wish I had what they had, like, but I'm thankful for what I have now. And like, if I want something, I can get it. And how amazing is it that that person gets to be on this planet and have that experience? Like, good for them. We're all one. We're all from the same soul family. And I'm going to use that as momentum. I'm going to put that person on my vision board, or that thing on my vision board, you know? So anyways, the last thing you want to avoid during this time is just being hard on yourself, okay? Don't overthink all the things you need to change and let go of and release and get rid of. There's going to be a lot coming up. The universe is going to definitely be roasting your ass right now. It's going to be very humbling, but just know, like, some of these things are just coming back to kind of help you, like, wake up and remember, like, oh yeah, I have moved past this. I have grown from this. Like, I am releasing this. This is gone from my life, you know? I'm excited to move forward. So just don't be hard on yourself, because once again, like I always say on the channel, nothing's being taken from you. Everything is being given to you. So are you guys ready for this pick a card reading? I made a spread. I just want this spread to be really healing. I suggest that you take a screenshot so that you can pause the video and like pull some cards as well and follow along with me. Go ahead and get cozy, light some candles, make it special. I really wanted to make this one special for you guys, but I'm in the city right now. I do miss having all the flowers and leaves and everything around whenever I would do these readings. I want to try to get back to that in my next location, but I definitely suggest you get some crystals, some candles, lay them out. This is just going to be like some healing and just a nice pick-me-up kind of vibe here, but we're also going to dive deep, so I hope you're ready. And then when you're ready, take some deep breaths and ground your energy and simply choose a card that you feel drawn to the most. Number 1, number 2, or number 3, and that's from left to right. Once you've chosen, you can head down below to where the timestamps are posted, to the description or the comments, and you can just click on your timestamp and instantly be fast forwarded to your part in the reading. And I will see you for your reading soon. For those of you guys who choose number 1, let's get started with the first part of the spread. And the question is, what needs healing? So what area of your life would like some healing at this time of the Scorpio new moon? And you're getting the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So this tells a very interesting story. I'm going to turn this card upright just so you can see what it looks like for a minute. But this card, the Wheel of Fortune, is usually a very positive card. It's talking about your relationship with abundance, your relationship with money and finances and wealth, your relationship with the sweetness and the goodness of life. Believe it or not, sometimes life does go your way. We've got cycles and seasons in this life. We've got death, we've got loss and destruction, but then we've also got rebirth and new opportunities and expansion. So I think they're telling you that maybe it feels like things haven't been going your way for so long that you've overly identified with this pain and with this suffering, and now it's just become like a part of you. And it happens, you know. You guys ever met somebody who you could just tell was like really sucked into victim mentality? Or have you ever at a time in your life really felt like victimized? I always tell people, in order to become a survivor, you must first allow yourself to become a victim. Sometimes you got to realize that there's certain things you don't like, or ways that you're being mistreated, or things that are happening in your life that are just for all intents and purposes like bad. Sometimes you got to realize that to be like, hey, I deserve better. I'm getting out of this, or this isn't right. Like, so your guides are just saying, like, what really needs healing is your perception when it comes to wealth, when it comes to abundance, when it comes to the good things in life. So I guess I have a couple questions for you, you know? Have you found yourself recently feeling like there's just no possible way that life can go your way because of X, Y, and Z? Have you found yourself complaining and being upset because there's people that you're surrounded by, or it's your family or your teachers or the system or the this or the that or corona or whatever, Are you finding yourself being so upset about those things and complaining about them so much that that's your reason and that's your excuse for why you can't make changes? You know, there can be horrible, oppressive things that can happen to us on this planet. Like, I'm so traumatized by the things I've seen and heard on this planet. My goodness, you guys, right? So there's horrible things that can happen, but we gotta rise again. That's the thing, is that we gotta rise again. We gotta take our power back, and we gotta rise again. I'm so inspired by stories of people who've done that. People who've just gone like pursuit of happiness on this life and have made it work for them. And you know, maybe life isn't fair. We're not always dealt the same hand of cards, you know, coming into this life, that's for sure. But it's not a reason or an excuse to keep accepting that. This is an abundant universe. It wants to give you everything you want. You can have beautiful experiences here, just like how you can have horrible experiences here. But it is all what you tap into. So I'm not saying it's your fault if shit has hit the fan in your life, but they're saying this needs healing. You got to pull yourself out of the rut. And at this point, if you keep cycling this negative energy and these thought cycles, it's just going to take you down. So it's time to maybe create a space or create an outlet for these thoughts and feelings you're having, because it's like you just need to be heard. You just want justice. So write about it, talk to a trusted friend, therapy, create art around it, and just purge it, get it out. Use this season, you know, let your anger out. I had to do that when I was living in the jungle 6 months. There was like a whole month that I just decided to let my anger out, and I let it out in paintings. I talked about it, I cried about it, I got really frustrated, I got really mad, and I felt like I was just gonna be like that forever. But then it eventually kind of lifted because I purged it, you know? So you got to find healthy ways of just coping with the crazy stuff that happens in life. I could go on about this forever, but they're just like, this needs healing. You can have a very abundant and beautiful life. The Wheel of Fortune wants to smile upon you again, but are you willing to create space for it? Are you willing to believe it could happen? Are you willing to seek for it? Yeah. So next, we're going to pull some cards. What does the shadow reveal? And we're totally going to pull from the Wildwood deck for this one. So the shadow energies around us. This is a very complex question. It's kind of open-ended, but what does the shadow want to reveal to you? What is the shadow revealing to you at this time? Well, the shadow is trying to tell you that it's part of the dynamic of this world. It's the destruction and the chaos sometimes is what can bring you the biggest blessings. I found myself saying a lot lately on the channel that stars are born out of chaos. Sometimes the process of transformation, or the process through which some of your most beautiful dreams and manifestations and blessings come to you, sometimes that process is messy. And there are some schools of thought, some people just say, oh, you just need to get better at manifesting. You just need to be more specific about how you want it and how you want it to happen. Or, oh, maybe your manifestation backfired. But I don't always see things falling apart or like this chaotic energy is a bad thing or a sign that you're bad at manifesting or that something's backfired. I think that's, if you look around, that's just how life is. Like if you think about it, birth, actually somebody giving birth, that's pretty painful and messy, you know. That's a chaotic, that's very, I mean, it's a beautiful thing, but that's very chaotic. Chaotic energy. Also, if you think about it, I talk a lot on the channel about the illustration of sometimes old crops need to be burned to create way for new growth. You know, a lot of times in many forests that there are certain plants that can only grow after a forest fire. So even though forest fires are very destructive, it is a natural part of healing and the regeneration of the soil and creating more nutrients in the soil that eventually helps things grow. So that's why the fire in your life, things that are just, you know, completely being melted away, and just that destructive energy sometimes can be something positive. So the shadow is saying you can make friends with the shadow in a way, you can understand it, you can flow with it. That's what being in the flow of life is all about. It's not being perfect, it's just understanding these subtle energy changes and allowing it, learning how to welcome it. Yeah. So basically the shadow is telling you some of these frustrations you've had in your life, you're going to look back and realize, okay, this worked out for me. And you are still going to be fulfilled. You're still going to end up in a beautiful place and enjoy your beautiful life despite the chaos that is present on this planet. So next, how can you break the chains? We're going all in today. We're just like solving your whole life right now. How to break the chains, how to break the chains. If you have any restrictions in your life right now, how can you break those chains? We're getting something here. So I think the chains in your life have something to do with trauma and trauma responses, because I see the card instincts next to trauma and I think of trauma response. We will respond to things that happen in our life oftentimes through the lens of what we've experienced in our past. And if we have had some traumatic events in the past, like many of us have had, then something will happen and it has nothing to do with the past. It's not, we'll just assume, oh, it's happening again. Oh no, everything's falling apart again, or that thing's gonna happen. I understand this because I live with CPTSD, and it's literally just like constant fear that the past is happening again, or that it's gonna repeat itself. And so, I think what your guides are saying is that, you know, to break the chains is to just be aware of your traumas. Once you're aware, like, oh, I went through this and this happened, you don't have to define yourself by it. It just helps you be a little nicer to yourself and not project so much into the future. Something that's really been helping me is not to make assumptions about certain things that are happening until I have more time to process them, or while I'm in the middle of like a big energy shift. Don't always make an assumption about what it is that's actually happening. I mean, I'm doing tarot readings all the time, making lots of assumptions. But I think when you make assumptions, if anything, make a positive assumption about it. You know, project that out, what you actually want. I'm also seeing how to break the chains. They're saying indifference is a lot of times how we stay stuck. When we're just like, well, I don't know what I want, or I don't really care about it either way. Like, tap into your true emotions and feelings and know what you want. Know what your desires are. Know thyself. That's going to help you break the chains so you don't have to stay stuck or caught in any situation. Sometimes we stay in situations out of endurism. We feel like, you know, I'm going to be a good person if I can just endure this, or if I can just stick it out a little bit longer, something will change. But sometimes breaking the chains is learning to not just stay in that endurism energy. It's to pop out and be like, you know what? No, walking away. This isn't my scene. Your guides are also saying build a deep relationship with your guides. So this is very personal. Some of you guys, you know, you meditate, you chat with your spirit guides, you're really into that. You hang out with your ancestors. Where's my Archangel Michael crew at? Right? Archangel Michael, come through. But if anything, build a deep relationship with your inner guidance. And there's many ways you can do that. Meditation, spending time connecting with your body, like through yoga, breath work, journaling, know thyself, vision boarding. That's going to help you break the chains. Finally, blessings coming in. What blessings are coming for you through this season? Because yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm sure there's still going to be blessings. Every new moon brings blessings into your life. I've already received a couple blessings myself today on the new moon. So they're saying there's going to be a lot of blessings coming in the form of signs and signals from the universe. You might find yourself feeling a lot more connected with the magic and the mystery of life right now. There could be a lot more signs coming in. The veil is very thin this time of year. And so if anything, at least you're going to know that this spiritual and inner work that you're doing is not for nothing. It's not in vain. You're getting signs and signals, and positive things are coming. Also, this is time for love. I mean, Scorpio season is a great time to like connect with people romantically and to date. So there could be new love coming into your life. This could be a blessing or a renewal in your love life. It's definitely cuffing season. I think this doesn't always mean relationship love though, even though that's what I'm really seeing. I'm really seeing this card stands for that, but this could just be love for life. So wonderful. I hope this message resonates with you. Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 2, let's get your message. And we're going to start with the first part of this spread. And the question is, what needs healing? So you actually got more than just one card. You're the only group that got 4 cards. So group number 2, you guys need a lot of healing. I'm not judging you though. That's okay. That's okay. What needs healing? Shall we get into it? Maybe you've just been running around. That's kind of what I'm getting. You've been running around, you've been doing stuff, you've been making things happen in your life, but it's been a little while since you've done that shadow work. You know, we tend to avoid this, and you're being called to it. So there's a couple areas your guys want you to check in on, okay? The first is your relationship with money. I've been seeing this for everybody. I don't know if this is a collective thing, maybe, probably is, but your relationship with money wants to change. And this can be an awkward thing to talk about, okay? But I want to say, I'm getting a message that maybe a lot of you guys who are watching this are in some type of debt, okay? And there's this message to stop running from it. You know, you don't have to be defined by it. You can still do beautiful things with your life, but there's a message, it's time to get it sorted. So it's time to make those uncomfortable phone calls. It's time to start getting paperwork or whatever it is sorted. There's a message that you're going to be receiving a little bit more financially during this time. And it's going to feel frustrating because a lot of that might be going to bills or getting things right in your life or paying things off. Or maybe some of you guys still paying back rent from the whole situation. I'm not sure what's going on, but I kind of get this vibe like just pay what's due, just trust yourself. And something I like to do when I pay my bills, because I've really worked on my money mindset. I'll tell you guys, I've come far, you know, and one thing I do is I have this affirmation I always say, which is money flows to me with ease and abundance. Money flows out with gratitude and love. So when I'm paying a bill or something that's kind of annoying, instead of being like, F the man and F the system and, you know, oh, they're stealing from me, I'll just be like, you know what? Money flows out with gratitude and love. I'm really thankful I have this system. You know, it sucks that I, you know, had to deal with this corrupt government my whole life. But you know what? I was able to do this because of the service, and I did actually have this, and I'm just going to move forward. You know, it is what it is, and I'm thankful, you know? So you got to talk to yourself through this, or else in your head, you're continuing to confirm F that, everything's in lack, it's not fair, I'm being cheated, and like that energy, it just really starts to become your mindset and what you expect from life. And so this is a message about maybe if you got a lot of bills to pay right now, maybe this is a time of year that you tend to panic about this. I don't know what it is. It's like winter. It's definitely time to save. It's time to kind of be like the squirrels and save your nuts for later. And you know, it's not necessarily a huge harvest time. Doesn't mean it can't be a time of abundance and plenty for you, but it's time to be a good steward. It's time to plan ahead. And I just see that message like your relationship with money wants healing, and that healing will come about in a natural way. And it wants to heal so that you can have your cup filled. Like this is the Father of Cups. Like you want to provide more for yourself and your family and for others. And like the more that you allow yourself to receive, the more you can give. And so this is all about helping you align to be more receptive with your finances. And if you're watching this and you're someone who's really well off and you got this down, like this could also just be about how to be a better steward of your finances, because there's always a way that we can grow. And sometimes I feel like when we're more wealthy or well off, sometimes we forget like it's not about just throwing money at people and organizations to like feel better and like flex about it. It's actually about how can I make the best difference with this energy, and like what's gonna make me feel good when I give it as well. Because when you give a gift and you have that energy of feeling good behind it, then that's a very positive thing, and it comes back to you tenfold. So it's also about not hoarding your wealth. You know, you need to be smart, not just go spend it all, but like don't hoard it either. You know, learn to give and learn to replenish and learn to to also invest in yourself. So I could go on forever. We should do a money course or something on my channel, right? But a couple more things want healing. Your guys are just saying, like, you got some tears to cry. You know, you have been effed over. Like, you got screwed the last couple years. I feel like I just get this message like, man, you really got put through the ringer. Don't expect this to keep happening. This is just a cycle in your life. It happens, you know, happens to the best of us. But your guides are like, what needs healing? Like, really, you just need to cry. You need to stop pretending like you're happy about it and like going around and acting all fake positive. You need to be real and just be like, you know, shit's hit the fan for me. Because maybe you're that friend who always has everything together and is always supporting other people, but maybe you're nervous to tell people like that you're not doing well. And so your guides are like, cry on someone's shoulder, tell them you're not doing well. You don't have to keep up appearances. We all have lows and it's okay. I think this last one is just telling you you need to cut the cord with some people in your life. You need to do some cord cutting. If you don't know how to do that, just research it. There's plenty of people all over TikTok and YouTube who are talking about it, who got some great advice. I talk about cord cutting on my channel here all the time. Just type in Rainbow Harmony Meditation. I'll have some stuff about cord cutting there. And maybe I'll release a cord cutting healing meditation for you guys again. But anyways, they're just like, you need to cut the cords. We could talk about your healing forever. Don't feel bad just because you got a lot of healing to do. It's just like, these are just some things that want to come up. Now that you're here listening to this reading, your guides are like, yes, we're going to tell you all the things. Okay, so next, what is the shadow reveal? So this is a very open-ended question, but we're asking, like, you know, since we're surrounded by the shadow energy this time of year, what does the shadow in general want to reveal to you? Scorpio vibes. Okay, so I have a very specific message I just got that might just be for one person who's watching or maybe a couple people, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. I think it's love related, but I'm going to just start with this more general one first. So what does the shadow want to reveal? It wants to reveal to you that mourning has a place in this life, that grieving and mourning is important. I feel like a lot of our societies and cultures don't have a good relationship with this. I know that in the US, it's so weird. Like when people pass away, they just like take the body and they don't let you see it. And like there's all this, it's just like really like we're so distanced from it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And then in other cultures I've been to, they're very close with the death and they celebrate it, and there's very beautiful rituals and customs around it, and it does really provide the healing people need. So, you know, but a lot of that's been taken from us. So I get this feeling that since we have such a strange relationship with actual physical death, and many of us fear it, we also, like metaphorically, when we experience loss or a type of mourning or death in our life, that we tend to distance ourselves from it, or we tend to just kind of push it down so that we can go to work the next day and move forward. We don't always get the time that we need. And so we have to be really conscious about allowing ourselves time for mourning, or just time to be depressed, or time to shed tears or cry or heal or be present with something. Because if we don't face it, it's going to come back later. It's going to come up. Oftentimes when we experience a big loss or a death or a trauma, to protect ourselves while we're going through it, our brain will take all this information and energy and just kind of file it away. And then it's not till later, sometimes months later, years later, that we actually slow down and we get enough space and time, and our brain and our body starts to feel safe, that it will bring the trauma back up for us to remember it and to process it and heal from it. I think that's what happened for a lot of people during the pandemic. I think since everyone had to go inside and be out of their normal hustle and bustle routines, that stuff came up, trauma came up, healing came up. And so your guides are saying, you know, maybe that happened to you as a result of the world events, or maybe this is just what you're going through in this season. It's a natural time for that, but just know that mourning and trauma and grief have a natural place in your life, and that it's important, and that it does help you to heal and shed and to make room. And it's just natural. It's just part of who we are as humans. Don't push away that human essence. There's something in it for you. And then the next thing I got, what does the shadow want to reveal? Okay, so there's something about a love connection coming up for you. We see you being reunited with somebody. So this could be that the shadow wants to bring bring some truth to you in your love life about what you truly want or truly desire in this area. It could even be exposing to you like who your true love is, where your heart truly lies. And so there will definitely be some stuff that's exposed to you, the shadow will reveal to you in your love life. So pay attention to that. So let's move on now to how to break the chains. How to break the chains. So if there's any area you're not feeling free in or you're feeling stuck, how can you break those chains? Okay, so your guides are saying that some of the biggest things that are trapping you in your life right now, it has to do with the balance between your passion and your dreaming and then your activity. This is the Prince of Pentacles, and this is a person who's establishing themselves with their wealth, with their career, with their finances, with their goals, with their dreams. Like, they're not afraid to get out in the world and be loud and proud about who they are and what they have to offer and like what path they want to choose. And they're taking action, like they're living their life, you know? And then this card, the Seven of Hearts, this is about somebody who's really stuck in their head, who just kind of goes around and around in circles, like building castles in the clouds, like, maybe talking about amazing ideas or amazing dreams, or like asking other people for their opinions, but not actually doing the thing. And I've been guilty of this before, and I think there's a natural incubation period where we need to spend time envisioning and throwing ideas out there and brainstorming. But if you've been doing that for years and years and years and years and years, and you haven't gotten into your little Prince of Pentacles mode, then it's time. So your guides are saying that's how you can break the chains, is just show up and do the first step. Do it today, do it now. Very stereotypical advice, but it works, because really all you have is the day. All you have is the morning, the breakfast you're eating, the little habits you have, where you're going, who you're surrounding yourself with. Choose wisely. Don't overthink it, but you got to do what you can to do today to sow the seeds for your desired future. So final message, blessings coming in. Okay, so we got through all that, and there are some blessings that will come with this new moon. Blessings come with every new moon, even this one, even the Scorpio one. So what blessings want to come into your life? So your guides are talking about a specific dream, or maybe even a couple dreams that you've had like forever, like dreams that you've had since you were a kid. And your guides are telling you, don't stop believing in this. You're being reassured. Yes, you can still have this thing. It kind of reminds me of like, I've always wanted a horse. And when I was younger, like I couldn't have one. And I carried that energy with me for so long. And it's been the last couple years I've told myself, I'm going to make that happen. I'm going to do that for me, future me, and my inner child. And, it's something I've wanted forever, and I'm going to make that happen, So maybe you're in the same energy. Maybe there's something like that you've thought about for so long, and for a while you gave up on it, but it's coming back up to you now because it's something that wants to be realized. And I think that's the blessing of this time, is maybe just getting a renewed sense of vitality, or receiving a lot of clarity. Maybe even getting signs, or you could be even manifesting something like this, something you've been dreaming about forever. Maybe that's the love connection I saw earlier, who knows? But this is a powerful time for manifestation. On the other side of these eclipses and on into the spring of 2022, there could be something pretty big coming for you, so keep your eyes peeled. I hope that this message resonates with you. Thank you so much for your support and for coming to my channel, and I will see you next time. Peace out. For those of you guys who choose number 3, we're going to get started with your spread, and this is the card that you chose, the first card in the spread, and the question is, what needs healing? This is a time of healing, so what needs healing in your life? And we're getting the Four of Wands. Or wait, the Four of Swords. Yeah, this is definitely the Four of Swords. It looks like it. So the message that I'm getting with this card is, man, I mean, you get this image with this rain and these swords. It's like somebody just gave up. Maybe the battle's over, metaphorically. That's kind of what I'm getting. Like, the battle is over. You've been fighting some kind of battle in your life for a really long time. It's over now. And you've had time to shed tears and to heal and to sit with it. But your guides are telling you, you need to realize that that's over now. You definitely got shit on there for a while by the universe. And at this point, you probably understand why it happened, or like you've decided to alchemize the situation and take those lemons and turn them into lemonade. Things are definitely getting better. Everything is rolled to a close, but maybe you're just still a little bit shell-shocked. So your guides are telling you what needs healing is maybe it's time for you to step out of the deep healing and the deep shadow work. Like, it's a strange message, but they're saying you might feel a little bit different than a lot of the people who are going through this energy transit. It probably has something to do with like what's going on in your chart, to be honest. But I am seeing that you're somebody that healing and shadow work and that kind of stuff comes really natural to. And you're constantly wondering, how can I improve myself? How can I grow? What do I need to fix? What do I need to do? And sometimes you don't need to fix anything. Sometimes you need to just enjoy your life. Sometimes you need to get out of your head and get into your body. And so I think that's what they're saying, is they're like, hey, snap out of it. Like, wake up, smell the roses. There's actually a lot of beauty surrounding you right now. And you don't have to feel guilty to just claim that and say, you know what, I'm going to just live in beauty right now. Maybe this transit isn't hitting me as hard as everybody else. Maybe I don't actually have a lot to heal right now. Maybe the healing's completed, and maybe that's just the hard thing for me, is to realize it's done. It's done. It's good. I'm healed. I'm whole. I'm complete. All is well. Healing is simply revealing the fact that you're already healed, you're already whole, you're already complete, you know? So it's not searching for anything outside of you. So I think this is about showing up and really stepping into the shoes of your future self and realizing you're ready and the time is now. Ooh, I like that message. Okay, so what does the shadow want to reveal to you? That's the next part of this spread, is what does the shadow want to reveal? So the shadow energy of the Scorpio season is surrounding us right now. What does it want to reveal to you? So you're somebody who's really prone to bouts of boredom and restlessness. I definitely see that about you. And that, you know, I always tell people that boredom is the gateway to the downward spiral. If you like search online, like boredom, the downward spiral, you'll see like a really cool graph that will come up, and it's like a spiral, and it shows you like the energetic densities behind certain emotions and feelings, and how sometimes if you wallow in boredom, it can lead you down to apathy, and then you start feeling kind of angry, and then like it can take you down basically if you stay there too long. So your guides are saying that the shadow wants to reveal to you how, like, when you're feeling boredom, it's like a sign. It's a sign of one of two things. One, you either, it's a sign that there's a calling for you to want to be creative and to express your energy. That's where the restlessness comes from, because it's like pent up energy that has nowhere to go. It wants an outlet. The next thing is, like, maybe you just need some time for self-care and you're tired. So, maybe there's a group of you guys who might just need to learn during this season how to rest more and how to actually have rest time that is actually rest time. Because rest time, a lot of us will just lay on our bed or whatever and we'll just start scrolling online, and that's actually really energetically draining. So even though our physical body might get a rest, our mind doesn't. And I don't think our physical body does, because we're holding a phone or a computer or watching a TV. It's bad for our eyes and all that stuff. So learn to lay down and do a little bit of meditation or breathing, or just take a nap, or sit out in nature in the sun and just observe, being in the moment. Take a nice bath. You don't always have to have a podcast or something on in the background. Learn to enjoy silence. Learn to enjoy the natural sounds in your environment, like out in nature. Create that space for yourself. So we're seeing that the shadow wants to reveal to you how important the me time is, how important it is to just daydream and let your mind wander, how important it is to, take good care of yourself. And then there's also the aspect of when you're bored, sometimes it's a restlessness because there's a part of you that wants to be engaged in a passion or wants to be creative. So the shadow might be trying to reveal to you, hey, it's time for you to pick up a new hobby or to find a new passion or a sense of purpose or something to do. You might find yourself feeling restless, like you want to move your hands. So get something for yourself to do. And they're saying that honestly, the energy around you right now is really beautiful. The shadow isn't really trying to reveal anything crazy right now. That totally goes along with this card we got for you earlier. So yeah, I'm getting this message. The shadow doesn't want to reveal too much. It's just saying like maybe the boredom is a trigger that makes you start feeling like I need to go in more shadow work. I need more healing. Everything. You start looking around like looking for something to fix. And your guides are like, no, nothing needs to be fixed. Just spend this time healing and resting and, start working on a new project or being creative. Like the coast is clear, So next, how to break the chains. I feel like you just broke a lot of chains already, but we're going to see if there's anything that's left that you need to clear. Your message is so unexpected. Please let me know what's going on down below in the comments. I love to hear your stories and how it resonates with you. This message was very different. Yeah, we got the Hangman. There's really no cords to cut right now. This is a time where you get to pull back, retreat, observe life a little bit. But they are saying that there is a cord related to its expectation. You feel like you don't get to be the Hangman right now. There's a part of you that feels like you got to be wandering around just like making all this stuff happen. And this is a huge retreat and rest period for you. I think that's why they were like, give yourself a little project because that's going to help you feel like you're doing something, but really pull back right now. So your guides are saying that the chains that need to be broken are just maybe worries about like what other people are going to think that you're doing with your life at this time. Because I know that you have a lot of goals and dreams and things that you want to do, but you can't do it all in one day or one season. In order to be able to make these things happen, you need to be right with yourself and you need to cultivate energy. So this is a period of energy cultivation for you. That's why you need to feed your soul with things that are creative and let yourself rest and really find solace right now in self-care. So this Five of Swords card is telling you that if you're not too careful, you could find maybe people attacking you or asking questions about what you're doing or what your plan is, and you're just like, you got to insulate yourself right now or draw the boundaries you need to draw. So breaking the chains, I think this has a lot to do with boundaries, because remember, you don't have to tell people anything. You don't need to tell people what your next move is, what your plan is, what your focus is at this time in your life, or like that you're just trying to pull back right now. So this might be you needing to really protect your energy. Maybe this has a lot to do with work too and your boss. Like you might just need to show up at work, keep your head down, do what you need to do to help you forward with your goals. This might not be the best time to, I don't know. I seen something about toxic relationships that you already cut out of your life. Like it's not a good time to bring a lot of people in. I see social activity around you during this time for sure. But they're just like break the chains with other people's expectations and judgments. And if there's anybody that you feel like they're sending that energy your way, then cut that out. So blessings coming in. Oh my gosh. I mean, I can't wait for this part of your reading because I'm sure you have a lot of blessings coming in. It seems like you got a dose of this energy already. Like you're kind of ahead of the game, if that makes sense. Not like it's a hierarchy or it's a competition, but I just want to go back to this card where I felt like it's time for you to enter into that rainbow season, leave the past behind, and accept the healing you've already done. You're not going to be pulled into crazy shadow work right now. Like you're actually celebrating the work you've already done. So your guides are saying that the blessings that are coming in, vulnerability, entanglement, surrender. There are blessings that want to come through people, that want to come through connections. We got messages, it's not a good time to go seek a lot of that out, but your guides are saying you're going to have this time to rest, and then slowly but surely new people will start coming into your life. And your guides are like, they know right now you're feeling very vulnerable after having cut some entanglements out, or maybe a specific entanglement out, and that you just need to surrender. Not everybody who comes in your life is there to F you over. And you might be feeling like that. I've had some clients tell me, why has every single person in my life been a narcissist? Or how come I keep having these toxic friendships? And, you know, we talk a lot about how, you know, breaking out of codependency and stuff like that, and taking responsibility for yourself and your life and your actions. But also sometimes that's just what our path is littered with for a while. We wake up, we realize it when we can, we cut the cords, we walk away, we draw boundaries, we get stronger, and we try again. And I think it's normal if you're feeling a little bit vulnerable or nervous about new friendships or new people right now to need a little bit of space from that this season. I'm not sure, maybe it will feel a little bit lonely for you, but they're saying that just surrender, because it's all working out in a beautiful way. You have a new awareness now. I think we're talking about relationships and love and friendships, romance right now. Your guides are saying abundance is coming in this area for you. And there's a new awareness you have. There's a shift that's happened. They keep trying to tell you like the past isn't going to repeat itself. You let it go. You're done now. It's okay. You can move forward. Sometimes the message too is it's not them, it's you. Sometimes you cut a toxic person out and like you're freaking out for a while, but like a week goes by and things are chill. 2 weeks goes by, things are chill, and your life just gets better and better and better from the second that you release that. And you're like, oh my God, whew, that person was toxic. I didn't even know until I walked away, really. Like sometimes certain places and situations are toxic. So yeah, we talked in the intro a lot about letting go of toxic energies right now. Clearly you've done that. And your guides are just like, you have guardians, you have angels, you have spirit guides around you. This pattern, this is done. This cycle you were in with this person or this situation, it's done now, it's gone, and good things are coming now. So they're saying, expect your life to take an extraordinary turn in a very positive direction right now. Lots of blessings are coming in for sure. Your guides are saying they're going to send you a lot of signs and signals, and they just want you to go with the flow. Energy in your life right now is shifting and transforming. It hasn't settled yet, but don't worry, it's all going to settle in the best way. So I hope that this message resonates with you. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, and I will see you next time. Peace out.